Hey, welcome back to Created Rocks with Dan the Rockman. In one of my last videos, I talked about showing you some rocks I found from Shaw Creek. And when I put them all together, I was actually surprised about how many I have. I have quite a few. So I want to break it up into three categories of what I want to show you today. And the first category is going to be chert or flint. Now I did some research, and in my opinion, it's hard to figure out what the difference is between chert and flint. I know there's like a flint steel test, spark test you can do, but I don't have the steel part to test it. And they both have the Mohs hardness scale of 7, so it's hard, you can't really scratch to tell which one's what. So if you, in the comments below, if you have a good test to test it out, just let me know. But I'm leaning, from what I've done research-wise, I'm leaning on it being flint with some jasper in it, with some agatized material. So that's what I think it is. And so I'm going to take you to the workbench later on and cut a piece up and show you what it looks like on the inside. And I'll show you some other pieces I found. And then the next category is the fossils I found. I find a lot of what's called a morass coral fossil. I find lots of those. But one of my prized fossils I found is actually from Shaw Creek, and it's the top part to a water lily, and that's the part of the crinoid fossil. It's the top part of it. And I remember learning that scientists weren't sure if a crinoid was an animal or a plant. So it's still neat to find one though. I've always been hoping to find more, so it's kind of neat to find one of that. And then the last section that I want to show you is just some interesting shaped rocks that I found from there. I've got one that kind of breaks off and looks like a parallelogram a lot of times. So I just want to show you those pieces and show you what I found. So let's get going to the workbench and I'll show you. Let's go. All right, here we are at the workbench. And these are just some of the pieces that I've found of the agatized flint material that I think it is. I just find it fascinating. I really like, I don't know, the agatized material just permeates the whole thing. I'm not sure what this looks like on the inside, but I'm going to cut out a couple of these, but not this one. I like to call this one like the loaf of bread. I've cut this up already. You can kind of see it's got the kind of the flinty material there. And this is what it looks like cut. It's pretty. Kind of, you know, a little smoky inside. Like I like that one. It looks really, it kind of looks like almost skin. It's kind of weird. But see, then we got this kind of agatized material in there. Now this, most of the time, it will just be this kind of the brown material, but sometimes it'll be a striking white material. And this looks really pretty when wet. And I'll show you. I mean, look at that. That is really pretty. And so one day this might be worth, you know, cutting up too. But this is usually the two kinds I find, either the brown kind or kind of the white kind. And this was a small piece I found and cut up and tried to polish. It was okay. But this is what I want to cut up today, is this one right here. This is where I think it's got the jasper, the agatized material right here. If you flip it over, it's got like a little vug of druzy crystals in there. So I'm going to cut this maybe two different ways on the slab saw to see what's inside there. So hopefully we can kind of see what's there. And I also want to cut this one up just a little bit better, just to make a smooth edge, because I'd like to polish that. Because here's the, you know, base rock on the outside, but this is what it looks like on the inside. Look at that, all that black material. Isn't that beautiful? So I want to polish that up and make that look good. So this is I've got other pieces, but this is either the main nice looking ones of the flint, I think it is. All right, guys, here is the fossil section of what I found at Shaw Creek, and I'm excited about this because I really like fossils. So as you can see, I said it wrong in the intro. It's not called morass corals, it's called rugose corals. They're like a mound-shaped coral. And so I believe this is off the UK education site for fossils of Kentucky, but this is what I think it is, this rugose coral, a type of that. But I find a lot of it in the Shaw Creek here, as you can see. And nice pieces, too. See, it's really, really cool. Look at that. All the columns of the corals. This is another big one. I like this one because it's got a little hole in it right there. We got some druzy crystals in there. So it's just a really cool coral. As you can see, I got a lot of little nuggets of it. I'm finding, brachiopods too. And those are neat. I believe that this round shape right here is an ammonite that I'm finding. It's just a little part of it there. You can't see the rest. And then this, I believe this is called a death plate. It's just got a whole bunch of, shells and coral pieces. And so it's kind of neat. I think they call this stuff bryozoa. It's like a coral-like organism. And you find a lot of this everywhere. And see, this is really cool because this was all one piece. And I broke it up because this is what I saw one day. I saw this all connected in this big chunk, so I tried to break it up as best as I could. But look how cool that is. It's like the knob at the end of the coral piece there. And so this piece was just chock full of it. And usually it's usually this base rock right here, you'll see it in layers where the fossils are in layers. But this one just has a lot of this. I think it's bryozoa. So that's kind of a neat one. They've got just a whole bunch of it was off that chunk. And I find a lot of this too. Someone was saying that this might be a type of horn coral, but I find these all the time. Now this one I found recently, I'm not sure. I don't know if it's a fossilized leaf or like a fossilized pine cone thingy, or it could just be cool looking in the rock. I'm not sure. But that looked like something right there. And then this is the prize one I like so much. And this was a piece, I think it's the top piece from a sea lily, and it's with the crinoid fossils. And so when I found it, I found it kind of like this, thinking it might have been like a geode, and then when I picked it up, or a nut, fossilized nut, but when I looked at it, I could see the round circles, and when you compare it, it really does look like the top part of a sea lily. So that was exciting. I'd like to find more of those one day, or even the other parts of it too. A whole connected piece would be amazing. So this is the fossil part. I like, as a Christian, I believe that these fossils doesn't take millions of years to make this happen. I believe that these came from the worldwide flood described in Noah and Genesis. And I think one of the reasons why I based that on is if you look at fossils all over the world, they're mostly found in sedimentary rocks. And sedimentary rocks, all the sediment of the flood would settle down on these organisms really fast with the big flood, kill them, and they wouldn't have time to rot away like a normal animal would. So they fossilized, and it's what we see today. Whether it's like this coral here in Kentucky, or if you'll see the ammonites in England, or the crabs in New Zealand, it's no surprise to me that we're finding all these fossils, like even Petoskey fossils in Michigan. It's no surprise that we're finding them in sedimentary rocks, and because just imagine a worldwide flood just flooding with water and sediment all at once, burying something, and this is what would be the result of it. It'd be quicker fossilization over thousands of years, and probably sooner than that, but definitely not millions of years. And so that is, from a creationist perspective, someone who believes that the earth is young, this is how I think these are formed, not millions of years over long periods of time. And so I know other people are going to disagree with that, but this is one take of it, and it doesn't surprise me, the common factor around the world of all these cool things being found in sedimentary rock. This is just fun rocks. I'm not exactly sure what they are. They're either just a cool shape or a cool look. This one, I think, is a piece of clay or a type of mudstone or clay, because it just keeps, if you wash it in water, it's just going to keep wearing away. So I'm not exactly sure. This is super cool. It might be a piece of geode, but it's super dark black. I've got another couple pieces like this. It's just neat looking. And you'll see a lot of these little formations of rocks. I don't think it's wood or anything. It's just really cool. So I like them. And this was that, I'm not sure what kind of rock this is, but it always seems to break in like these parallelogram shapes. Because this is exactly how I found it. I did not cut these. And this is typically the way that I'll find it. You see it's got the, parallel shape on each side almost. This one's not quite as much, but I'm not sure what it is, but I just think that's really cool how it breaks off and forms that way. This is really cool. It's a little chunk of geode, lots of druzy crystals in it. And you'll see a lot of these. It's just some kind of geode inside there, but not really a lot of crystals to it. You'll see them like this. And then there's cool rocks like this. They've got circular patterns in them. I thought that was neat too.